Ladies and gentlemen, there is a new gaming slur on the horizon. A new gaming slur. All right. Is that not playing the hood? Not very Puerto Rican to you? It's too many other things out, even though I do want to play the hood. It's too many things out now. I cannot play Marvel Rivals right now. I cannot play it. But yes, it is not very Puerto Rican to me, isn't it? All right. So y'all ready for the new gamer slur? Y'all ready for the new gamer slur? I'm coining this one. Okay? I haven't seen anybody say it. If you see somebody steal it, remember, they got it from me. You heard it here first. All right. The new gaming slur term is going to be, drum roll please, the benders. Now, you may be thinking, why you call it a bender? What is a bender? All right. Peep, a bender is someone who bends over. You follow me? They bend over for corporations, okay? They are bending over any which way that a corporation wants you to bend. They are going to bend that way. They are bending. So if you see someone online or even in the real life, literally go slurping it up for these corporations, you just call them a bender. And they're gonna be like, huh? What do you mean? And you tell them, oh, cause you just bending over. You're opening all your crevices. You're bending over for these corporations. I feel like we are in another epidemic. We have literally went from ball and gun gamer to the yellow painters. Like we are going through eras. We are going through eras of the weirdness that's going on in the video game community. Okay, I don't get it, but this is a new one. And you know, the funny thing, this has been going on for a while, but now I'm just coining the phrase because it's getting worse. And literally two things are just bringing out all of the corporate shields. One is GTA 6, obviously. The second one was the whole Activision Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 thing. Actually it's three. The third one is PlayStation as well. Sony's decision to eventually get rid of physical discs. I haven't seen so many people literally bending backwards to defend these corporations, acting like it's okay. They're literally acting like it's okay to be like, hey, well, they're making all the money. This is cool for them. Newsflash. Who's a business person in this chat? Okay. Who is a business person as an average person, whether you're a bot account or not, on Twitter, on social media? None of y'all are in business. And if you are in business, I can almost guarantee you're not in the business that you're defending. So why? Riddle me this. Why do you feel so compelled to bend over backwards for these corporations and defend them to your death? It's literally the meme, leave my multi-million-dollar corporation alone. That got made for a reason, okay? And now it's gotten worse. So let's talk about it. So if you weren't in the know, we always like to talk about, like, for the people who aren't chronically online like us, who just for some reason, I don't know how they're getting their information these days, but for those people who are just not in the know of anything that's going on. As we know, yesterday, Netflix and Rockstar broke the internet once again to announce that the Grand Theft Auto 6 extended look will premiere on Netflix. Nani?
Oh my God! You like that shit? You like that shit?
On Netflix, Thursday, August 27th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, so that was the first announcement, and we were like, huh, well, that's interesting. I wonder why Netflix decided to get into this entire situation, and how did they make this deal with Rockstar? Now, we just mentioned before, again, this is for the video portion of of the stream or whatever, but mentioned already that Netflix has already had a partnership with Rockstar. Um, the GTA trilogy is currently on Netflix. You can play it through your phone. You can play it through the TV. I don't know how that works. I don't know anyone. Let me know if you've actually tried to play any game through Netflix. Like, how was that experience? I don't know anybody in real life that has done it, but I'm assuming somebody has because they said it has like 30 million plus, like between all the games, clicks. So somebody has been playing the game. I know when I saw it, I was like, this is very weird. And it was like years ago. I saw like San Andreas. I'm like, this is extremely strange. Anyway, so this isn't a partnership. This isn't a relationship that came out of nowhere. So I want to preface that for the people that just may not understand that. But I think that this extended look, they're really trying to treat this like this is like the biggest piece of entertainment ever. They're trying to treat this like this is a new show that's coming out, trying to treat it like this is a new movie coming out. Like, I think we're taking a higher approach to what this game truly can be. And I really hope that this is gameplay because there is no indicator that this is going to be gameplay. Nobody has came out and said, hey, this is going to be gameplay. They're just saying extended look. So it could very well, again, I don't want to get anybody hopes up. What up, David? You say you play it through your phone. How was it? Did it play? Did it play? What up, Blue Power? Blue Power. Shout out to K Cruz for the follow. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, how was it? How was it, David? But there is still no indicator. I think that the chances are low at this point because, like, who wants to see the third trailer but it not have any gameplay? That's literally what everybody has been waiting for. So if this trailer or extended look, because somebody just tried to correct me, it's not a trailer. 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 And I'm like, you just slurping it up, man. I'm so tired of y'all, bro. Y'all literally slurping it up. What up, DCG? I was like, I said extended look trailer, extended look trailer. It's the same thing. We don't know what the hell this is going to be. We don't know how long that this is going to be. We don't know anything. We just know it's going to be extended look. So again, we can assume that it's going to have gameplay in this extended look, but we don't know 100%. Okay. So I want to temper people's expectations because we don't know what's going to happen in a couple of weeks. So anyways, with that being said, the reason why I had a slight issue with this is the second tweet here as a follow-up. So it said the Grand Theft Auto 6 and extended look will also launch on the official Rockstar Games YouTube channel and the Grand Theft Auto 6 site at 9 p.m. Eastern, August 27th. So I was like, huh. So you have the extended look, which is going to be a timed trailer, a timed exclusive look on Netflix, okay? And then 6 hours later, you're just going to put it on the YouTube channel and you're going to put it on your website. So I was like, all right, man, what was the point of Netflix spending this bag on this exclusivity window for this trailer? Because what does Netflix truly get out of this? All right. There are a lot of people that already have the Netflix platform. I'm one of those people. I know that Netflix has, successfully combated people's, sharing accounts. I remember when that was the hotness back in the day, but I know that they've combated that. But still, for the most part, a lot of people have Netflix and a lot of people know what Netflix is. So is Netflix's end goal just to get more subscriptions? Is that their goal? Because we'll talk about that in a second, but there were legit people saying that they were going to literally get a Netflix subscription just to watch the trailer. And I'm like, you all are freaking insane, bro. So you're going to give another corporation money. You're going to pay money to watch a trailer and watch an extended look when you could just wait 6 hours. So you have no self-control. You have no backbone. And I can almost guarantee that minutes, not hours, but minutes after this extended look, again, we don't know how long this is going to be, but when this extended look comes out and people start reacting to it, which is going to be a little bit difficult for some people because it's not just on YouTube. Obviously, Netflix has like some weird thing, like if you're on the computer where like you gotta like change some options in order to like get it to actually screen share, because obviously Netflix doesn't want you just streaming movies and shows like that. But anyway, so there is a way to do it, but it's going to be difficult for some people, especially if you're not tech savvy. So for the people who are trying to like react to it like live. It's going to be a little bit difficult for like those content creators and stuff. But outside of that, it's interesting that this is happening and what Netflix's end goal is, because I can almost guarantee that they spent money. I don't think that Rockstar was just like, here, friends, you can have this for free. I don't think they would do that. My second thing is Rockstar doesn't need Netflix. They don't need anybody. Rockstar for a long time has done things their own way. They haven't been to E3 and God knows, back when that was a thing. They haven't been to E3 or any other convention and God knows how long. Red Dead Redemption 2 was the last thing that we saw like them have an actual like debut for, and they just put it on YouTube. Obviously the GTA 6, I think the first trailer ended up getting leaked, which kind of sucked for them, but again, it wasn't a bad thing because as soon as the trailer got leaked, they just put it on YouTube and it got like crazy views. So it didn't even matter. So that's going to like the direct point here. Rockstar doesn't need Netflix. Like just imagine if you are like an older individual, if you're like a boomer or Gen X or whatever, and like for some reason you're scrolling on Netflix at 3 p.m. Eastern, and you see this thing, Grand Theft Auto 6 and extended look. I don't know, like if you're an older person, what the chances are that you will click on that and be like, oh, what is this? I think that an older person at this point would know what GTA is. They may not know about GTA 6 and everything that's going on with it, but I think they would have a good indicator or heard of the video game franchise Grand Theft Auto. And like if you're not into it, like if you're not a gamer, I wonder what would entice you to click on it and start looking at it if you don't play games and you're just on Netflix. I don't know. I just don't know like how Netflix pitched this or how Rockstar pitched this, because very well Rockstar could have pitched this to Netflix and be like, hey, like let's do this, and we want to treat it like a movie premiere or something like that. I don't know. I just don't see like how many more eyes. That's really my grand question. How many more eyes could get on this just for it being on Netflix? Like, or you think you're gonna take it like more like make it more legitimate if it's on Netflix versus you just dropping the trailer on YouTube or X or on your own website? Like if you dropped it on your own website before you dropped it on YouTube, you would break the internet. You would probably crash your site. If you just dropped it on YouTube, it's gonna do numbers regardless. And like you're still gonna do numbers because the people who watch on Netflix guarantee they're gonna watch it again. They're gonna watch it again on Netflix or they're gonna watch it again on YouTube. Like, so I don't know. I just don't see like what the end goal is for Netflix outside of just getting those temporary subscriptions. Oh, the new Slur, Captain Slander is Bender. And those are people that bend over backwards for corporation. They open up all their crevices they bend whichever way that the corporation wants them to bend. So that is a new game of Slur. Bender. So yeah, I just don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what the whole end goal is for Netflix here. But yeah, just going back to the second thing, Rockstar doesn't need them. They don't need anybody. So I wonder why they decided, hey, like this is something that we want to do outside of Netflix giving the money to get the rights to this exclusivity window. So that's my thing there. So I talked about that. The second thing is I saw some people, again, the benders, they were defending Rockstar's decision to put this on Netflix. We saw somebody, like I said before, they literally said, hey, I got a subscription to Netflix just to watch this trailer. There were people that legit said that. My second thing is there were some people that said, hey, did you know that GTA 5 also had an exclusive with Game Informer? Oh, how astonishing. How astonishing, right? So I was like, oh, so y'all are trying to justify why Rockstar did this. Y'all are trying to justify why a corporation put a timed extended look behind a paywall, huh? Interesting. Interesting. So I said, for the folks who have been trying to, well, actually, and it's funny because again, people clearly didn't see my video. There are people like, hey, they thought that I was like on Rockstar, so I'm not on Rockstar side here. But I said for the folks that have been trying to, well, actually, the GTA 6 on Netflix conversation by bringing up the GTA 5 being revealed in a Game Informer magazine. I said number one, physical magazines were how games got announced back then. I was like, I understand that we're in 2026 and like that's not going to happen anymore. I mean, who reads physical media these days? That's why we have a 6th grade reading level in America.
Oh my God.
So, you know, that's why we have 6th grade reading level. People don't read books or any physical media anymore. But you know, that's neither here nor there. So yeah, obviously in 2026, that's not how you're going to reveal things these days. So I was like, okay. But back in my day, that's how things were announced. Yes, new games, they had exclusives in your favorite magazines. Game Informer wasn't the only gaming publication back then. Okay. So, yes, there were certain gaming publications that got exclusives and they wrote about it and they put them in the magazine. Oh, wow. That's crazy, right? That actually happened. But that's how we got our news. That's how we got our reveals. Outside of that, it was E3 every year. E3 was how we got our game announcements. There weren't any other real conventions or gaming showcases. Xbox and Sony and EA and Ubisoft, they didn't do their own separate um gaming showcases back then. Okay? So, it was just E3 and then they just announced their things. They announced their consoles. They announced their new games coming. They all did it in like one congruent block, and that was it. It wasn't all of the separate thing. Nintendo didn't do their own thing, you know. Then people started coming to E3, and then everybody started doing their own showcases, and now we're at where we're at. So yes, things have obviously changed a lot, and E3 is no more. But that's how we used to do it back in the day. Number two, he said, "Say he broke." Yeah, I know, right? It's always the go-to, man. Just say you're broke, man. Just say you're broke. You said no corporate shield. You spent over $100 on date nights. Spending $100 is something that will last you years. Oh, man. I think we got one, man. I think we have. You're not exactly a corporate bender, but you're definitely a person who is trying to justify why you make your purchases, which again is fine. I'm not mad at you for spending your money how you want to spend it. What I take exception to are the people that frivolously and without thought spend their money on things that they don't need to, especially if you care about your favorite hobby to the point where you would get upset if things like physical discs went away, or if you had to pay more for your favorite franchise, or if you had to pay more for your favorite console of choice. Those are my problems, okay? And people aren't thinking about the long-term effects, i.e., an EA, when they hit their milestones and they make all of this money, decide to still lay off their people, but the executives get bonuses. Those are the things that people don't talk about, but those are the things that people do need to start talking about, especially if you're going to direct your anger at somebody, okay? I don't like when people get laid off. I don't like when studios that I used to love get canceled. I don't like when video games that I really want to come out get canceled, i.e., the most recent example, Blade. I don't think we're going to see Blade anymore. Who knows what's going to happen to Arcane? Those are the things that I care about, okay? All right. It's not just about, I'm just going to act like this shit doesn't exist. I'm not on that type of time anymore. I'm not going to just shut up and dribble. I'm not going to act like this stuff doesn't exist. This stuff does exist. The video game industry is in a downturn right now. Obviously, they're making a bunch of profits, i.e., the Take-Twos, the EAs. Yeah, they're making a lot of money, but for what? Because they've conditioned us to buy all these freaking microtransactions. They conditioned us to buy all these annual games. They conditioned us to play these live service games for more than 5 years. And nobody sees a problem when a studio tries something different and then there's this some weird ass agenda that comes around and then the game doesn't hit the expectation. They don't hit those milestones, and then subsequently that entire studio gets fired along with the people. Do y'all think that's funny? Do you think that it would be funny if the job that you work for comes in and said, the CEO comes in and says, hey, this store right here did not hit its milestones. They haven't hit this milestone for a couple of months. We're just going to shut everything down. And no, you can't move to another store. Or they come into the corporation, they come into the corporation's office. Hey man, y'all didn't hit y'all milestones. We're about to dismantle the entire department because it's happening already. But y'all niggas don't care until it happens to you. That's the thing. Nobody cares about anything until it happens to you. And that's the fucking problem. We have no sympathy and no empathy in the world. I care about these hobbies. I'm passionate about these hobbies. I've been playing video games for as long as I can remember. I want to see this video game industry stabilize, okay? I don't want to see the same stuff happening. I'm so tired of talking about studios and people getting laid off, because as I continue to do this, as I continue to be with the industry, I know people who have been laid off, and it's not fun. It's not fun seeing them have to talk about it. It's not fun seeing them find out through freaking Twitter or an article online that they got fired. Okay? I care about that stuff. Okay? It doesn't have to directly affect me in order for me to care about it. I want y'all niggas to really gain a freaking backbone. I know that y'all are tired of hearing about this. I wanted to go back to the old days too, where I could just play a game and not have to worry about if it's going to get canceled in a month. Okay? I don't want to have to rag on EA and Ubisoft all the time. I don't want to have to rag on Sony and Xbox all the time. But guess what? We're here, and we've been talking about this shit for the last 6 years. Okay? We've been talking about this shit for the last 6 years. All right? My job is to inform you, the person who is watching this live stream and who will be eventually watching this video, about the things that are going on in the video game industry, so you can try at some point to have a freaking backbone to be like, hey man, do I need to buy this game? Do I really need to buy this game right now? Maybe I don't like their business practices. Maybe they haven't been giving their full effort on the video game franchise that I love. So maybe I'm not going to get it, because there's no other way to truly show any company that you mean business until you start to eat their pockets. When they don't get a profit, when they don't hit their milestones, then they're going to truly feel it. So anyways, you got me on a rant. I'm not going to rag on you, Charles. Sorry for kind of, ranting and getting off subject a little bit, going on a tangent. But you are literally the type of person who is on the internet like trying to argue with me about why this stuff matters, or why it doesn't matter to you. It matters for a reason. This is why you watch me, because I am at least informed enough to explain it. Okay. Okay. So anyway, so back to the Rockstar thing. Okay, back to the Rockstar thing. So I said number two about the Grand Theft Auto 5 being a Game Informer. Number two, there were other games in that issue. So it wasn't just, oh, Game Informer gets exclusive on Grand Theft Auto 5 and it's only about Grand Theft Auto 5. Yes, there were 18 pages. It was an 18-page front page thing for Grand Theft Auto 5, but again, it's Grand Theft Auto 5. So of course they're going to get that real estate. But they had other games in that magazine too. I'm pretty sure I had that magazine. I need to find out. Now that I think about it, I don't think that I threw away my Game Informer magazine. I really hope I didn't. They may still be in my mom's house. I need to see if I still have them. I really do. I need to see if I still have them. I need to ask my mom. I need to have my mom if I still have them, because I'm pretty sure I had that magazine. But that goes into my third point. GameStop was giving away Game Informer subscriptions like they were candy back then. I don't know back in the day if y'all went into a GameStop and they were pretty much like, if you get the pro thing, whatever the hell it was called, because I forgot. If you got the pro membership or whatever, they gave you a free Game Informer subscription for like a year. So that's the reason why I got Game Informer. That was the entire reason why I got it. I was like, man, I had a collection, boy. I used to love getting those magazines delivered, man. I used to know about all the games coming out. Like I said, outside of E3, Game Informer and what was the other one? It was like electronic something. I forgot. Electronic something. It was another one of those magazines that I used to subscribe to all the time as well. Somebody in chat might know it. Oh, thank you, is JFE for another super chat. You say, in my opinion, people are so adamant on proving that they're not broke that they will pay any price for games. Yeah, we're in a weird like flex epidemic too. That's another one. We're in a weird flex epidemic, because that's literally like the go-to option. Like you talk about Black Ops, you talk about 2K, you talk about Grand Theft Auto, and it's like it's niggas too. It's always niggas, unfortunately. It's always niggas, unfortunately. But they always want to call you broke. And I'm like, dog. Niggas can't afford rent. Niggas can't afford gas. Niggas can't afford groceries. But we want to talk about hobbies. We want to talk about entertainment. We want to talk about things that aren't necessity. These are wants. Video games are wants. I don't know how many people need to hear that again. It's a want, bro. We don't need these video games. We don't need them. So for you to be trying to flex on the person who has something to say about it, it was like, hey, I'm not purchasing this just because they say, hey, man, I'm not getting this game that you want to call them broke. It's crazy, man. Crazy. Ariel, appreciate you for the $2 super chat. You can't say got to work tomorrow. I appreciate you for coming through. Appreciate you for coming through. So, I concluded on this week. And I said, so no, it's not the same situation. I don't think this is the same situation as Netflix getting Grand Theft Auto 6. You know, like especially given that it's just 6 hours, and I'm like realistically less than that. Because like I said, somebody's gonna rip it. Somebody's gonna rip. They're gonna just screen share. They're gonna screen record the Netflix extended look, and they're gonna have it. They're gonna have it on social media. They're gonna have it on YouTube within minutes. I guarantee you. They're probably gonna live stream it and put it on YouTube or whatever your favorite platform of choice is. They're going to do it. It's gonna be people who are live streaming who are going to be showing it. So it's going to be available. So I say that to say this. There's no reason that if you don't already have Netflix, that you would buy it just to watch a trailer. I can almost guarantee you that if you don't have Netflix already, it's for a reason. Because Netflix has been around for a long time. If you don't have Netflix now, it's for a reason, bro. You're not paying attention to the movies and the shows that are on there. I don't think that there's anything else that you truly want to get Netflix for, at least not right now. So if you ain't got it, bro, it's okay. I don't think you have Netflix for a reason. I think that was a legit choice that you made. Okay, so it's not the end of the world if and I'm saying this literally at the worst that you wait 6 hours. At the worst that you wait 6 hours. But you know what's going on? FOMO and niggas trying to get some money, niggas trying to get some engagements. I get it. If you're a content creator, hey, you need that right now. You need it right now. If you wait 6 hours, you already 6 hours too late. I get it. I understand that part. But for the average person, bro, you can wait 6 hours, man. Get off the freaking internet. Get off the internet. I understand if this is your favorite game, this is your favorite franchise, and you've been waiting so long for it to come out. But like I said, at worst, you have to wait 6 hours. But if you really want to find it, you're going to find it. It's going to be on the internet. Rockstar can only do so much to maybe get rid of these channels or get rid of these tweets that are showing the extended look that's not on Netflix. All right. You say you didn't pay your phone bill because you had to decide food or rent a phone. People don't understand the struggle, man. People don't understand the struggle. But I mean, yeah, it may be an interactive experience. Like I said, it's a lot of people that have Netflix and there's some people that don't. I get it, but you just want to be a part of the experience. But that's the thing. People just want to be a part of something. You don't have to be a part of everything. That's my annoyance. You don't have to be a part of everything. I don't care that it's on Netflix, that it's going to be on Netflix and they show it first. But it's a 6-hour window. It's going to be available to you on the standard platforms after that. That's just the thing. So like for people going crazy about it, but like, oh man, Netflix did a good thing, man. That's a good benefit to them. I'm like, again, y'all are benders. And for all the people that didn't catch that before, yes, the new gamer Slur is called a bender because niggas be bending, they be bending over backwards for these corporations, bro. Literally bending over backwards for these corporations. Again, if you thought I was lying, shout out to Chris. This again, I mean, your name is GTA 6 Countdown. Your name is GTA 6 Countdown. So, I mean, I get it. But it was like, I subscribed to Netflix just to watch the GTA 6 extended look. I'm like, again, man, you can't make it up.
Oh my God.
It said it better be at least half an hour of solid gameplay. We don't know. Like I said, we don't know. We have no clue what this is going to be. We don't know what this is going to be. We're going to find out in a couple of weeks, right? We're going to find out in a couple of weeks. So, again, there are people who are legit doing it, man. If you didn't believe me, yeah, there are people who they said they're going to get Netflix just to watch the trailer. So you're going to get it for a month, and then you better hope you cancel it. You better hope you don't keep that joint going. Yeah, I hope you don't keep it going. So, it is what it is on that one, man. But there was some more news that came out. From Take-Two, mainly the CEO. And I'm going to say this. I kind of wish that we weren't privy to these earning calls because I feel like people are using these earning calls, like the average person and some of these content creators with agendas. People are using these earning calls to like try to push their agendas on like, oh my God, my favorite corporation spent all this money or they made all this money back. For and I'm like, why do you care? Because are you seeing any of that money, average person? Are you seeing any of that money, content creator, outside of the content that you're making from said games? Okay, I mean, you could be thankful for that. I'm not mad at it, but you're not seeing any direct funds, like, because you don't work for Take Two, you don't work for Rockstar, you're not seeing any of this money. So why do y'all care so much about what Take Two made in the fiscal year of 2026? Like, I don't think that the average person needs to be privy to that. I don't even think a person like me, who's a content creator, should be privy to that. I don't give a fuck. Well, anyways, we're here, so we end up getting privy to it. So now, it's being talked about. Now it's being talked about. So, there were some interesting things that the Take-Two CEO said. One of these were GTA 6 pre-orders have been exceptional. They have been exceptional, which means even though there was, a little bit of hoopla. There was a little bit of hoopla when people found out that GTA 6 will not have any physical discs. Y'all still went out and pre-ordered the game. Y'all still went out and pre-ordered the game so much that Take-Two was just looking at them numbers like, money, 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 money. Y'all just gave them all that money. Yeah, I gave them all their money in pre-orders, by the way, in pre-orders. So it looks like those early numbers were right because they said that there were rumors that as soon as the pre-orders went live, said within a day, they already made $1 billion, $1 billion in pre-order sales. Ain't that crazy? Isn't that just insane? In pre-orders, not the game, not the full game, but pre-orders. Like, imagine, bro. Imagine everybody just seeing that thing go live. Oh man, I can click on it and I can just get it on my Xbox or get it on my PS5. I'm just gonna pre-order it, man. That's crazy, bro. Absolutely insane. So, to fully read this article, say pre-order numbers for Grand Theft Auto 6 have been exceptional. Rockstar's parent Take-Two has revealed, and the series as a whole continues to exceed. Not only have they been exceptional, the series has continued to exceed expectations. They said in a financial statement on Friday, which is today, as I am talking about this, results from quarter one of the 2027. So I correct myself. As the quarter, they are talking about quarter one of 2027. Because they're talking about the GTA 6 stuff and not what they did the previous year, or at least not in this particular statement. Well, Take-Two stated that the global excitement for the launch of Grand Theft Auto 6 continues to build, with the title having an exceptional start to pre-orders. Specifics on the number of pre-orders, like they're gonna hide that. They're gonna hide that. Like I said, it was rumors of them already, making their money back in pre-orders. But I would imagine that's true. I would imagine it's true, especially now, because it's been over a month at this point. So I would imagine they made their money back just over pre-orders alone. I think that there is some truth to that. There's some validity to that. But they didn't reveal it here. And they said the revenue generated from them has not been detailed, though they're expected to be significant numbers. GTA 6 will be a major driving force for the 2027 financial year and beyond for Take-Two, which predicts net bookings for the year of $8 billion, will represent a 20% growth compared to the previous year, with Rockstar set to make up around 37% of that revenue breakdown. I said pre-order numbers for GTA 6 will continue to rise, obviously, as the launch window edges closer. Excuse me, and the recently revealed extended look at the title, which is set to be a Netflix exclusive, which I already talked about. So we already know GTA 6 is going to be a key revenue. No other thing outside of just GTA 5 online will be making Rockstar money, because Red Dead is pretty much dead at this point, and Rockstar doesn't make anything else. It's just GTA at this point, literally just GTA. So I don't know if they'll make another Red Dead going down the line, but they for damn sure ain't making nothing else. So it's just GTA. So So that's interesting, but not surprising. Definitely not surprising the way that people were acting. I still question why people are pre-ordering things these days because it's not like you're gonna miss out on anything, especially now. I mean, you're literally pre-ordering something that doesn't even have a physical disc. Why? Digital orders they don't expire, they don't run out. Are there people that still don't know this? Are there seriously people who don't understand like how digital pre-orders work? This isn't the olden days. Y'all talk about we're in 2026, but y'all are still treating pre-orders like we're back in the 2010s and even before that, where we had to physically go to the stores and wait in line for midnight releases. And yeah, there would be a chance that if you pre-order something or tried to go into the GameStop and pre-order something late, then yeah, they will say we don't have any more pre-orders left because the stores only got a finite amount of these games that because they ran out. Now you may be able to get one later, but as far as the pre-orders, if you try to go into a GameStop the day after, like a huge midnight release, then chances are they won't have the game for you. You'll have to wait or you have to go somewhere else. So that's how things worked back then. Nowadays, again, y'all are buying digital anyway, so pre-orders don't do anything. They don't do anything but give you digital cosmetics, and you can literally pre-order the day or the night before. You don't have to pre-order now and just sit there and wait. Are you like feeling like you're not gonna have any money for it? Like I don't get what people's mindsets are. And we've talked about this before, but I for damn sure not gonna pre-order anything if I haven't even seen any gameplay. That's the crazy thing. Like, I haven't seen any gameplay. I'm not pre-ordering anything. Show me some gameplay. Come on now. That's the thing that really blows me, bro. That's crazy. So, anyways, y'all did it. I mean, of course, like I said, you tried to say anything about GTA, and they just people just on your head, boy. The benders be bending, bro. The benders be bending backwards, forwards, sideways. They on some gymnast type stuff, bro. They bending for sure, for sure. Next thing that they said, the CEO said that GTA 6's price is an incredible bargain. Oh man, it's a bargain.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
It's a bargain. Since when? Let's continue to see how they try to justify this shit. We what the they said, oh, what? All right, so Strauss, he apparently is just he's super out of touch with reality. Because I just don't get it. He said it's a steal, and I quote, "It's a steal."
Oh my God!
Okay, it's a steal. To whom? Can I steal the game and get it for free? Is that what you're trying to say? I guess, man. Okay. So let's continue. Say if he said anything else. We've said this many times. Our goal is to deliver way more value to consumers than what we charge them. To say that we expect that Grand Theft Auto 6 will be an incredible bargain as experiences go is an understatement because Rockstar Games is known for over delivering. Oh, they just full of themselves. You see? This is what y'all do, man. I ain't gonna lie. The way that they pop in they shit like this, you know what this is. You know what this is a result of, right? This is a result of Grand Theft Auto 5 online lasted for 13 freaking years, bro. This is a result of one game lasting for 13 freaking years and making almost $1 billion year over year since the game came out. They said that they made I was watching a Jason Schreier video because he actually spoke to Strauss. And they said that 72% of their sales for Grand Theft Auto or just period have been from, I think that includes 2K too, if I want to be honest, 72% of Take-Two sales have been generated from microtransactions and digital sales, not the games themselves, but digital sales. That's wild. 72%. Microtransactions, DLC, microtransactions. Things will not change. Things will not change if people continue to just hand over money like that, man. Okay? There, people aren't even, they just purchased the game once, and then again, I mean, this is how they measure your value. They said, y'all been playing one freaking game for 13 years. Of course you're getting incredible value for Grand Theft Auto. Duh. 2K comes out every year. You dumb niggas buy all the VCs so y'all can make 6 to 10 different builds. Of course you're getting your value every year. Boy. All right, so he went so far to acknowledge that given the hype around this title, Take-Two could have set the price tag Take-Two could have set the price tag however they wished, but that's not how they operate. What? So this statement right here confirms that Take-Two was sitting there looking at what you dumb niggas were saying. They were looking and seeing what you dumb niggas were saying on the internet about this game. And they said, yeah, man, you know, we so arrogant, dog. We so arrogant and we so confident and cocky. Yeah, we could have made the price wherever we wanted, bro. We could have made the price of this game $200 freaking dollars. Y'all would have still went out and bought it. They confirmed it. They literally confirmed it. They could have made the price tag whatever. They said, oh, but y'all getting a bargain. Y'all getting the steal. That's not how we operate. Come on, guy. Be on some South Park. Say, come on, guy. It's me. It's me, Rockstar, your favorite corpo. It's me, Rockstar, your favorite corpo. I won't charge you that much, and you're gonna get all this value. You're gonna get an incredible amount of value. The most value that we've ever gotten in any video game ever in existence. You're gonna be playing this game. You think you played Grand Theft Auto 5, you thought to play one video game for 13 years. You thought that was a long time? Well, guess what? You're gonna play Grand Theft Auto 6 for 20 years. You're gonna play it for 20 years. We're not gonna come out with any other, don't even start thinking about Grand Theft Auto 7. We're gonna milk you. We're gonna milk you losers. We're gonna milk you benders for 20 freaking years. That's what they're going to do next. They're not going to make a single other video game. We may see another Red Dead, but they're not going to make another freaking video game for at least 20 years this time, because you all are going to go crazy over this goddamn video game. It's crazy, man. That said, GTA 6 is expected to be the fastest selling game ever made. It's anticipated that it will push Take-Two Interactives into never before seen revenue records. And you know who cares about this? You know who cares about this news? That Take-Two is making all of this money? The Benders. You guessed it. The Benders. Only the Benders care about this. Because do I care about this as a consumer? Hell no. Do I care about this as a content creator? I do, but for the opposite reasons. I care about it because they playing in our faces, and y'all are just continuing to give them money. That's what I care about. But y'all care about this because, again, y'all be bending, bro. Y'all just be bending over backwards. Oh my God, Take-Two. Oh, do it harder, Take-Two. I need my Grand Theft Auto 6, Take-Two. That's all y'all niggas be doing, bro. All fucking day. Jumping, spinning, slurping on it. Y'all doing whatever, bro. Y'all are doing whatever. It's ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. Look what y'all did. Look what y'all did, bro. I wonder, does it work? Twitch, clip that. Does it actually work? I think I got it. Let me see if it clips. I haven't done it before. That needs to be a clip. That needs to be a clip. That needs to be a clip. Oh my goodness, bro. And then, but niggas don't be saying, they don't be seeing nothing wrong with it. That's the crazy thing. Like, you don't say anything wrong with getting effed, all because you want to play one video game, and you just willingly want to give them all this money for my value, for my entertainment. It's entertainment, by the way, not a necessity, not a necessity, not a necessity, not a necessity, but your hobby. Okay, I love video games as much as the next person, but I'm not gonna be slurping and bending over backwards for these corporations. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. All right, and the final thing. Now this one really pissed me off, bro, because again, they're all following the same talking points, and I don't like it. Okay. All right. I really don't like this one. He said, JG, you talking to you? Huh? JG, you talking to you? What? He said, but it's their childhood. It was mine too. Shout out to Walkstar. Shout out to Walkstar for the follow on Twitch. I see. Said the only argument you saying is the only game I play, which is so exhausting, which is, I mean, damn, if it's literally the only game you play, I think you got a pretty sad life. I'm not gonna lie. If Grand Theft Auto was the only game you play, I think you got a pretty sad life, man. Y'all been cosplaying for years, man. Y'all been cosplaying. Oh, I'm talking to these young niggas. Yeah. Okay, I got you. You talk to your YNs, my bad. This is ninja. Okay, talking to your YNs. True. But yeah, y'all been cosplaying for so many years, man. I think y'all are out of touch with reality for real. All right, but the last article, the last statement, the CEO defends the no disc version of GTA 6, and he equates physical releases to vinyl records. Yeah, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? So Strauss, he was just yapping away, man. Strauss was just yapping away today. So he is defending the company's decision to not release GTA 6 on the physical disc, insisting when it comes to big games, this don't really make sense for the consumer. That's you. That's you.
You what? Oh, brother,
Hey.
this guy stinks.
Hey, that's you.
Oh my God.
He said, I don't give a fuck about you. He said, it don't make sense for you. You're right there. It don't make sense for you. Said folks who play one game definitely shouldn't be buying this game. It's a down payment. Oh, man. Okay. Well. Y'all still care about these CEOs, man? Y'all still bending? Where my benders at? I don't know what somebody can say these days to like make y'all actually start thinking, use their brain and be like, hey, you know what? I don't like that. I don't like the way he talking to me right now. You remember the Chris Rock, I forgot which stand-up special was. You remember the Chris Rock special when he was like talking about like women dancing in the club, and like they were like, man, they could be saying anything. They could be saying anything on the record, and the girl be like, oh, he ain't talking about me. That's how y'all benders be acting. That's exactly how y'all benders be acting. Oh, he ain't talk. The CEO not talk about me, man. I'm gonna keep bending over. All because I want to play this one video game. I've been waiting 13 years for it. He's talking to y'all, and y'all don't care. He said it doesn't make sense to you to get a physical disc. He literally said it doesn't make sense. What if they announce a pre-orders will have a year free Netflix? I mean, I guess you get a year free Netflix. I don't really see the full value in that, though, to be honest. But, oh, man. So, all right. So, to continue on with what he said he declined to speak specifically about Sony's controversial decision to kill physical disc production of PlayStation games. But he did say when it comes to GTA 6, a physical disc version simply doesn't make sense. Now, why do you think he doesn't make sense to him? He said, our business is well over 90% digitally distributed. 90% digitally distributed. Again, this is conditioning, folks. This is conditioning. I mean, do you think that especially with the PC bringing the whole GTA RP thing, I mean, I've already spoken about this, but the PC has been moved away from physical. So It's not even the thing that you can get, even if it's an option. Yeah, it's not an option anymore. At least on the console, it is still an option to get your game physical. But no, you're not. There were so many people. I didn't even know. I had to go look it up because I was so out of touch. I didn't even know that GTA Online was even a separate thing. I had no clue because when I first got Grand Theft Auto 5, I thought that you needed the base game in order to get the online portion. And it was like that for a little bit, but GTA Online got so popular that they started selling it separately. And guess what? GTA Online is not a physical disc. I don't think it ever was a physical disc. It was only digital. All the shark cards, only digital. All the DLC and expansions, only digital. So, of course, especially now in 2026, with GTA Online really being a thing and nobody giving two fine fucks about the base game of GTA 5 for the single player, of course, 90% of your sales and everything that you distribute is going to be digital. Of course. He said it's already a digital business. So in certain instances, especially if it's a big game, this just, and note I said discs don't really make sense for the consumer. Of course you think this now. It's been 13 years in the game. So of course you think this. Also, more instances you have to register online to play anyhow. So if you're already connected, who cares if you download digitally? It's all the same and it's much more convenient. These are corporate talking points, man. These are corporate talking points. These are anti-consumer talking points. I don't like it. I don't like it. Modern Warfare 2 came out on physical. It literally was actually digital. Talking about the newer one, or are you talking about the original, the OG one? Because probably, I mean, I'm sure you're not talking about the OG one because those came out physical, but you're right talking about the remakes. Yeah. So, okay. So to continue, he said, so that's where the world is going, in our opinion, and I think Sony understands that. We certainly understand that. It doesn't mean that we won't have physical editions now and then. I wonder. So, are you saying that there's a chance that you're still going to come out with physical discs? He said, I'm sure we will, in the same way that there's still vinyl in the recorded music business. So he at least acknowledges that vinyl is still a thing for music, which we talked about before. Vinyl is still a thing. Vinyl has actually had a crazy resurgence, and it didn't just start this year or last year. Vinyl has been I would say, a pivotal physical media point for a lot of like hardcore music lovers. Okay, not just for DJs. People love to collect vinyl. I mean, TBH collects vinyl. He got a record player. I know other people on my timeline that I know personally who collect vinyls because they love music that much and they want a collection. I know Story Mode Bay has a vinyl collection. So vinyl is pretty crazy, and some vinyl are worth a lot. Like vinyl can not only be a collector's item, but it could also be profitable when people are like looking for like those rare vinyls. So yeah, especially a lot of more artists recently have gotten full into the vinyl. Like a lot of them still do vinyl. CDs, obviously CDs are still a thing too, but vinyl is where it's really at. People don't really collect CDs like that, but vinyl, yeah. Yeah, vinyl is a true collector's item and it's still highly prominent. And I would say vinyl and a lot of times also drive a lot of sales for some artists too who actually lean into it. Um, so if that's the route that they want to go, it's funny because we talked about this on the podcast as well, because that's pretty much like print to demand at that point. So I wonder, are they thinking about going that route with GTA 6, like in the future, just doing print to demand? So if you want it, then you just buy it, and then they'll just give you they'll send you the disc. So I wonder. I wonder. It says sorry for typing too much. No, I hear you. I hear you. To just play GTA 5 at this point. They're not gonna do that. Come on now. They're not gonna do that. You say you got the vinyl too. Yeah, so y'all collect vinyl. So I wonder if that's a route that they want to go, and that's kind of where he's hinting at. So it's interesting, but I still don't like those first statements. I don't like what he said. It doesn't really make sense to do physical because it does. And we talked about this before. Again, all the people who were like anti, oh man, I don't get anything physical anyways. It's not about that. And it's not just about you. While you don't get things physical, there's still a group that does get things physical. Okay. And we're talking about music. There are still people that collect vinyl, but yes, the majority of us probably do at this point listen to streaming services. We listen to DSPs, we listen to Spotify, we listen to Apple Music. Some people are still on Tidal, Amazon Music, YouTube Music. Yes, we do that. We stream. Okay, but there's still a huge audience that wants something physical. They want vinyl. So let them have the option. People want to collect. People want tangible things. People want to feel like they care about something. Okay. And physical, again, putting on my business hat, not trying to be a bender, not trying to talk about the corpos, but if GTA 6 would have had a special collector's edition that was physical, what do you think would happen, chat? Do you think that Rockstar would get more money, or do you think Rockstar would get less money? I think this is a pretty easy answer. I'm sorry, if everybody wants to be a business person, let me just throw my hat in the ring. I think that would be something that people would actually love, especially for something that they've been waiting 13 years for. Don't you think? If you've been waiting 13 years for your favorite franchise to come out with this next iteration, you would be willing to go out and spend $200 or more for a special collector's edition that only certain people, again, we talk about things that actually run out. If you came out with a special collector's edition, people would be literally gargling. They would be just oozing at the mouth to try to get it, and they would pay top dollar for it. It's going to end up going up in price if someone just held on to it. So you would make more money, Rockstar, but y'all don't care, clearly, because you said it doesn't make sense to the consumer because y'all are doing 90%. 90% of our sales are digital. It's already connected. Why do you want a physical edition? That's what Strauss said to y'all. Okay. So again, at one point, are you going to get pissed off? At one point, you're going to be like, hey, man, like, I don't like that. I actually did want a physical edition. And you're trying to tell me as a consumer that it doesn't matter. You're trying to tell me as a consumer that it doesn't matter. So again, if you're going to be mad at somebody, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. How about you direct that anger towards the CEOs? How about you direct that anger towards the publisher, to the corporation? But no, you're going to be a bender. So we'll see. It sounds like they're keeping it open. They're keeping the idea open that they're going to come out with some physical editions. So we'll see. We'll see. But right now, again, as it stands, I'm not saying that Strauss can't change his mind. I'm not saying that Take-Two can't change his mind. But right now, he's saying that shit don't matter. Right now, he's saying that it don't matter. So, it is what it is at this point, right? It is what it is. So that's all I got for y'all. One more thing I wanted to add. Going back to the Netflix conversation, some people were like, well, if the game costs $2 billion to make and it took 13 years, then Rockstar just needs to make their money back by any means. Again, why do you care as a consumer? Y'all aren't business people. Why do you care how Rockstar makes their money back? I can almost guarantee you, again, within the first day of Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out, the first day. I ain't talking about the first week. I ain't talking about the first month. I ain't talking about the first year. I can almost guarantee within the first day of Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out, they're going to make their money back and then some. The first day. This game is that big. Okay? And that's what people are estimating too, within the first day. And again, we shouldn't be talking about this or caring about it because we are the consumers. But yet, people want to talk about it. People think they're business people. People think that they work for these corporations. So now we got to talk about it. So they're literally paying for an ad for a product they already paid for. Yeah, again, it's I don't get it, man. I don't get it. So that's my thought, man. Those are my rants. The benders are doing tricks on it, and I really hope that they get it together. I really hope that they get it together. But yeah, that's the term that I got for the corporate shell. They're benders. Okay, they just be bending over backward, forward, sideways, just taking it from everybody. They're taking it from everybody, bro. So next time you see a corporate shield on your timeline, next time you see a corporate shield in real life talking about, ooh, Rockstar, man, I want them to make their money. I want them to make their money. And then they start pocket watching. Niggas be pocket watching the corporation like they be a part of it, which is just be crazy, but then want to call you broke. When you say this, you don't want to buy it. Don't make no freaking sense, bro. How you pocket watching the corporations, but then you also want to call somebody else broke. Make that make sense, man. Y'all niggas don't work for these corporations. Y'all are benders. That would have server just crashed on launch day. Like I said, it'll be a cold day in hell, won't it? You know, it'll be almost like I told you. So they better make sure them servers are right. Y'all got the money for it. They better make sure them servers are right. Sony, y'all better make sure them servers are right. Xbox, y'all better make sure them servers are right. Cause I could see something like that happening. I could definitely see something like that happening. I mean, they already crashed the Sony servers to buy the freaking old ass Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, 14-year and 16-year-old games, by the way. So, I mean, they could very well do that. They could very well do that. Imagine everybody trying to download Grand Theft Auto 6 on launch day. Yeah, man, shit's gonna crash, bro. It's not gonna be fun. It's not gonna be fun. I'm glad I'm not partaking in that, man. I'm glad I'm not partaking in that. I think again at this point, I'm still waiting on the confirmation if the game is gonna freaking run in performance mode in 60 FPS or close to it on the PS5. Because if it don't, like I said, I'm waiting. That's gonna be the only thing. I'm waiting. I could wait. I'm good.